Hi Sagittarius, happy early birthday and welcome back to the Astrology 33 channel. This is your November 2024 tarot reading. Thank you to those of you who've liked, viewed, shared, and subscribed to the channel. I appreciate all of that. For those of you new to the channel, as over and from us, it's Celtic Cross spread as always. And I also pulled 4 agreements and Wisdom Oracle card for you guys. But we're actually going to start the reading off by rolling those astrology dice we have in front of us to get an idea of where your folks should be as far as that goes. Alright, we have 5. So 5th house energy for you guys is actually Aries, and we pretty much just had that full moon in Aries. Aside from that, we have Chiron there as well, which was pretty much acting with that full moon, and then we also have the North Node in there. But 5th house in general points to romance, creativity, and children, so you can have a focus on an area of your life this month. Alright, we have Cancer. So for you guys, Cancer is your 8th house of death, rebirth, and intimacy. And we still have Mars there. Mars will be moving into Leo around the 5th of November, but definitely still have an impact on that area of life for you guys. And we have Jupiter. So Jupiter is actually in Gemini, which is your 7th house of partnerships, contracts, or relationships, and it's currently retrograde. But that could definitely get in the mix with things too, especially considering that you guys have Venus in your sign right now until around 11th or 12th, I think, of November, and then also Mercury will move into your sign around the 3rd of the month and will eventually retrograde, so it's going to be crossing paths in opposition with Jupiter. So we'll keep all that in mind as we go through the main spread. In the main situation position, we have the Knight of Pentacles, and challenging that, we have the 7 of Swords. So this is Virgo energy here, which is your career, your house of career and social status, and then Aquarius energy, which is your 3rd house of communication. So I would say, looking at this, I would be very cautious about entering into any business deals this month. Just financial dealings in general. Looks like it'd be best to try to avoid them. Or at the very least, if you do enter into anything like that, make sure that you really read the fine print very closely, which, I mean, given that there will be that Mercury retrograde happening in your sign too, that kind of makes sense. But between that and seeing these 2 cards come out this way in the spread, I would definitely say that that's something you should do this month, right? So sometimes you get into situations where you can't avoid signing a contract or entering into some kind of an agreement. So I'm not going to say avoid it altogether, but if you do, just really make sure you're checking everything thoroughly, because, let's say if you do, maybe there's something in the fine print that's a big advantage for this person, and it would put you at a disadvantage. Right, in the foundation position, we have the Page of Cups. So this could just be one of those things where maybe an offer will come your way, right? But it's not necessarily all it's cracked up to be. So if we look at the fish coming out of the cup there, for example, sometimes it makes you think of something that was rushed, right? So if this person wanted to offer this cup to someone, probably would have helped to make sure there wasn't a fish hanging out in it, right? So it could just be one of those things where someone, they might not necessarily mean harm by it, but something on their end that they might present to you just might not be where it needs to be. And if you sign into that, then it could backfire. All right, in the past position, we have the 5 of Wands. So for some of you, this might just be one of those things where you might feel like you've already been going through a lot of competition, right? Feeling like, you had people challenging you in different areas of life. So, for you to feel like there's yet another thing that you might have to deal with this month might just be a little bit frustrating for you. All right, in the present position, we have the King of Pentacles. So on the one hand, this is definitely a good sign that says that especially if you don't sign into any of those types of agreements, you should be just fine either way, right? But another way this could be playing out could just be saying that if you're already in this position, then that can attract people to you that might want to take advantage of that. So just be on the lookout for that. And of course, given that we do have the Taurus full moon coming up in November, right around the middle of the month, could just be pointing to that timeline as significant as well. All right, in the near future position, we have the 8 of Wands. So yeah, this is actually a Sagittarius energy here. So it could just be saying that when we finally officially do enter into your season, you might feel like things are starting to flow more smoothly, like you could trust everything around you. So yeah, it could just be one of those things where maybe earlier in the month the energy might be a little bit trickier, which is interesting, right? Because you figure, well, with Mercury retrograde is not going to happen to the end of the month. You would think the earlier part of the month might be a little better, but it could just be as simple as, really just having the sun come into your sign will just give you more supportive energy. All right, in the position of your influence in the situation, we have the Nine of Swords. So yeah, so this could definitely point to losing some sleep, having some anxiety, some stress, right? So yeah, again, to me, this is another indicator that says that this just might not be the ideal month to enter into any partnerships with people. All right, in the environment position, we have the Eight of Cups. So yeah, so to me, this is at the very least on an emotional level, it looks like you are ready to just leave things behind that aren't fulfilling to you anymore, right? So maybe it's just a matter of you're fine to walk away from these things, but of course there could still be that level of disappointment in it, right? So let's say this was a friend who tried to take advantage of you, right? Given that Aquarius energy can point to friendships and groups. So let's just say it's that level of disappointment that it's like, okay, it's not just that someone tried to take advantage of me, but it was someone that was supposed to be able to trust. In the hopes or fears position, we have the Four of Cups. So yeah, so this is Cancer energy here. So it could just be one of those things where maybe you have a fear that, okay, well, when will the offers come my way that are good, right? So it could just be one of those things where you feel like you're going through a bit of a rough stretch right now. And I mean, to be fair, you guys are ruled by Jupiter, and for it to be retrograde in your opposite sign, and yeah, that could definitely point to maybe people coming toward you with not the best of intentions, right? So, of course, once it finally does start its direct motion again, you'll be feeling better about things in that area as well. All right, and in the outcome position, we have the Three of Swords. So yeah, this is Libra energy here. So for some of you, you might actually find out that this deception might have already taken place, right? So you might be finding out after the fact, and if so, it looks like it'd be likely that it might have happened during Libra season, which technically at the time of recording this, we're just wrapping it up too. But if not, that could just be saying that, yeah, there just might be that level of disappointment. Or like I said, it looks like for the majority of you, you're going to dodge the bullet anyway, but that doesn't make it any easier to just accept on an emotional level that someone was going to try to take advantage of you in that way. All right, and bottom of the deck, we have the Fool. So at least to me, this is a good indicator that says that eventually you will release all of that, right? You'll just put it behind you, like, okay, you know what, sucks that I had to go through that, but it is what it is. Let me cut my ties, move on. You'll be feeling a lot better when you do. And below that, we also have the Six of Wands, which is a pretty good energy as well. So again, like I said, not going to make it easier to deal with in the moment, but looks like you will be able to move on from it fairly quickly. All right, so from the Four Agreements deck, we have Always Do Your Best and Honor Yourself. It says, honor the man or woman that you are. Take the risk to express your dream. Taking action is about living fully and expressing what you are. So yeah, definitely a positive message there. It makes you think of the Knight of Pentacles energy, right, of moving forward. So, and of course the Fool as well. So hopefully that resonated. And from the Wisdom Oracle, we have Time to Go. There's the artwork, and the number is 45. So we'll see what this has to say. All right. Essential meanings says endings, completion, walking away from something because there's nothing else to learn or experience. The Oracle's message: you are at the end of one journey and have not yet begun the next. This is the moment to bless your experience thus far. Take stock of what you've learned. It's time to move on to new experiences and a new way of being. There is nothing left for you to do, be, or experience in your present circumstances. Take the risk and move on, even if you need to be in transition for a time. Your destiny is calling you. So yeah, that definitely seems to support the energy of what we're seeing in the main spread, especially when we're talking about the Eight of Cups energy, which is to say that you guys might just be ready to leave certain situations behind anyway if they're not suiting you. So hopefully that resonated. The relationship message says it's over, or at the very least, the form this relationship has taken is no longer of service to you or the other person. This is a time of letting go, of knowing that the journey has come to its conclusion. That doesn't mean anything is lost. Although this card could speak to a breakup, drifting apart, or the end of a soul contract, it is more about release than destruction. Remember the saying, if you love something, let it go. If it comes back, it's yours. If not, it never was. Endings are always a sign of new beginnings. If you want something deeper, walk away. So yeah, definitely an interesting message there. So we'll say this particular spread, even with the Three of Swords, didn't necessarily seem to be a one-to-one relationship type of dynamic, but for those of you looking for guidance there, hopefully that resonated. And the prosperity message says, this message is clear. The path you've been on with your work, creative projects, and business alliances have come to an end. You will not find the success you desire by continuing with what is now in front of you. This is an auspicious sign because there is no choice that will benefit you other than risking stepping into the unknown. It is time to walk towards something new. This card also pertains to the more neutral concept of completion. You've finished your task and can rest assured that this ending will open up a powerful avenue of opportunity, even better than any you can imagine. You have done all you can. Now trust that Spirit keeps the plan moving forward. Fortune requires you to conclude this chapter of your life. And remember that when one door closes, another opens. So yeah, definitely a positive message there because that seems to point to what I was saying, that for those of you, even if you do, have to process emotionally that disappointment, looks like you will ultimately move on from it rather quickly and on to better things. So hopefully that resonated for you guys. Once again, happy early birthday. We'll wrap up there and we'll see you all next month. All right, bye.